Ladies and gentlemen, today is a great day because today was a Nintendo Direct day. What's up, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. I've got Jake and Gabe here to recap all of the games and announcements from the April 12th Nintendo Direct. We're going to give you the highlights as well as all the important info. First off, before we get to the nitty-gritty, were you satisfied with the Direct? Did you like what we saw today?
Sort of.
Yeah, I think, was it perfect? No, but is anything perfect? Not really. So I was satisfied, yes. I was quenched.
I think based on the fact that we didn't expect this, and knowing E3 is like exactly 2 months away, getting some of this stuff out of the way, for me, just increases my hype for E3 because it opens the door for a lot bigger and grander announcements.
Sure, if you look at it that way, then yes, quenched is a good way of putting it.
It wasn't like they just came out with release dates. Like they talked about some new aspects of the games as well.
And as you'll see, they really did go through quite a bit. They even had this like nice ticker that showed exactly what they were going to cover. I really like that.
They
like,
were
here's
organized
what's coming up next. Yes, they were. And we'll start off with Amiibo. And they announced a handful of them. There are the Splatoon 2 trio of Amiibo, and we'll get to Splatoon 2 later, but there is going to be a new Inkling Boy, Inkling Girl, and Inkling Squid Amiibo for Splatoon 2. There also are some new and final Smash Brothers Amiibo. We got 2 versions of Cloud, 2 versions of Corrin, 2 versions of Bayonetta that are coming on July 21st, and those versions are going to be specific to certain stores. And then also 3 more Legend of Zelda Amiibo, which are a Majora's Mask themed Link, a Twilight Princess themed Link, and a Skyward Sword themed Link. Those are coming on June 23rd. So in total,
one
it's
more.
what? 6, 9,
one more Amiibo.
12. Oh, and yeah, and Lucky 13 is the Pikmin Amiibo for Hey Pikmin, which is coming out on July 28th.
Correct.
Which of these Amiibo is your must-have?
Can I pick a bunch of them? Because
Sure.
honestly, I kind of like the way they all look, but the Cloud,
it's a good set.
The Cloud ones and the Bayonetta ones, those for sure. Plus all the Link ones, like they all look very, very cool. So I mean, I can't just pick one. So I'll go with all of those. So it's 2, 4, 7 total. So 7 of them look great.
7 of 13.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Jake, what's your favorite of this new figure set?
I like the Inkling Boy. I also like the new Pikmin one. It's pretty cool. It has like a bunch of Pikmin all in one.
Yeah, I really like the Pikmin Amiibo a lot. And the Splatoon 2 ones are quite good as well. I was hoping that the Zelda Amiibo would have been more tied into Breath of the Wild. Some people were suspecting there'd be like a Dark Link or a few different ones that were uncovered in some of the files of Breath of the Wild. But it's nice that we're going to get these, and they should, I think, unlock some cool stuff in Breath of the Wild. So those are your Amiibo announcements. 3DS got a hefty amount of stuff, and it's interesting to see them still carrying on with 3DS. And I do wonder, though, many of these 3DS announcements are beyond E3 in terms of launch dates. So maybe they're kind of getting some of the 3DS stuff or most 3DS stuff out the way before E3. Just to roll through these and stop me if you guys have anything to say. I think the biggest was Hey Pikmin, which is the side-scrolling, more platform-style Pikmin game, which I think looks good. I've loved every Pikmin, and Pikmin 3 is like one of my favorite Wii U games of that entire console library, so I'm pumped for this.
I wish it was on Switch so you could play it on the Switch, but unless it's a precursor to that, Pikmin 4 is coming soon on the Switch, so they're holding this one off to be a 3DS exclusive, and then they're going to give us Pikmin 4.
I think that's definitely the plan.
Yeah, so then I'm okay, as long as Pikmin 4 comes soon and not in like 3 years or something.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how they evolve Pikmin beyond 3, because 3 was a really great game. It had that fantastic multiplayer mode. Jake, I know we love the heck out of that thing.
Yeah.
So bringing that to Switch, man, just give us the freaking Pikmin 3. Like, there was the rumor and sort of the goofy leak of the Wii U classics. I'll take freaking Pikmin 3 so I can get that multiplayer mode. I'd be all about that. Next up, they went through some RPG stuff. Ever Oasis is launching on June 23rd. Oh, by the way, Hey Pikmin July 28th, if I didn't mention that. June and July are getting a hefty amount of stuff, by the way. Ever Oasis, June 23rd, new action-adventure RPG.
I really
from the
like
creator
that,
of the Mana series.
That they said that this was focused about kindness.
Yeah, hey. We need a lot more of that in today's day and age.
I know.
And apparently we need a lot more me stuff, because Miitopia is bringing RPG action your way later this year, and you can bring your friends, your idols, your enemies into it, which I know you were really pumped about, Jake.
I think it'd be kind of great if I did a Switch Force version and had you, and Gabe, and then somebody else as my squad of 4 running through the world causing havoc.
That would be pretty cool. I would be all about that. And I think a lot of people are going to be all about Monster Hunter Stories, a new Monster Hunter title launching this fall. Obviously, would have been great if it was at least cross-platform with the Switch. But it has a really nice art style. You're able to fly on different monsters, and it looks pretty darn cool. Fire Emblem Echoes got some more info. Shadows of Valentia DLC. That game, again, shaping up to be another win for the Fire Emblem fandom. Yokai Watch 2, Psychic Specters, is a new sort of like ultimate definitive version of Yokai Watch 2, sort of like what Pokemon has done in the past. That is coming this fall as well. Then you have the lovely Bye Bye Box Boy, which is a downloadable game available now. It's previously in the Japanese and European eShop, but now it's in the American eShop as well. Fantastic series. Get Box Boy. It's made by HAL Laboratory. They are a great developer. And now I love the fact that you can bring in a few Amiibo to create box versions of Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, Waddle Dee.
I want the Dedede skin for sure.
I really like that. And then piggybacking off of the Kirby love, it's Kirby's 25th anniversary, so Nintendo made sure to point out that they've got 3 Kirby games, all for 3DS, coming this year. And I have to imagine they're going to have something on Switch, even if it's just a virtual console blowout of Kirby's past catalog. Right? There's got to be
a blowout Kirby.
We have to imagine, I would assume, that something Kirby hit Switch. But for now, as of today, Team Kirby Clash Deluxe is a free-to-start game on the Nintendo 3DS eShop, where you've got Sword Hero, Hammer Lord, Beam Mage, or Dr. Healmore, who are battling giant enemies. And then there also is a single-player Kirby's Blowout Blast, a 25-stage 3D game all about inhaling and powering up and blowing out on the eShop this summer. That is not a retail game. It's a paid eShop game. And then they made note that there is a new multiplayer action game for 3DS this holiday season that will be a retail and seems like the sort of the big one of this trifecta. So that is the Kirby state of affairs. Do you guys think there's a Kirby Switch in the works?
I have to believe that there is.
Yeah, maybe they just do an eShop type game and not a full-fledged retail game, though. I don't know.
No, I think we're getting retail, and I think we see it at E3.
I would really love to see, and I've talked about this in years past, I'd really love to see Nintendo embrace, and we mentioned it, before the Switch came out, some more of like the downloadable style with their main franchises. It doesn't have to be a huge $60 Kirby game. I would love to have just like some iteration or downloadable or more of a portable Kirby that is also on Switch. Again, I would love to see these 3 games on Switch, but alas, they are 3DS. Also, Culdcept Revolt is coming to 3DS on August 29th, and RPG Maker Fez is releasing on June 27th. So a lot of 3DS stuff, and then they hit the Switch, which is where our focus mainly lies, and we'll save the big 2 for the end, ARMS and Splatoon. Let's get the other stuff out of the way first. They highlighted some more of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe features, reminded you it's coming out April 28th. Another reminder of Ultra Street Fighter 2 The Final Challenger is releasing on May 26th, and the first-person mode where you can throw Hadokens with motion control. And then we got into some more new territory. So Puyo Puyo Tetris is releasing on April 25th, but a demo available in the American eShop today, which is great. I'm downloading that right now. We've got Monopoly coming to Nintendo Switch this fall. We have, I guess, a couple more reminders. Disgaea 5 on May 23rd, free demo soon. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition, no date, which I was hoping for later this year. But then we got some new stuff. So Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition is hitting on May 11th, which I think, let's pause here, I think this is a huge win for Nintendo fans and Switch owners in May.
I am not a big Minecraft person, but I think that majority of the world is. So I think, yeah, that's a huge thing to be able to play Minecraft, Mario Worlds, wherever you want, whenever you want on the Switch.
Like, if you're going to play it anywhere, this would be the way to play, though.
For sure.
Being able to take it from your dock and your TV on the go. Hopefully they have some sort of nice interaction with friends. And they've got the Nintendo exclusive Mario content in there. And it's not like the most exciting announcement, but it's great to see them bring that
And Zach,
to
they did do
Switch.
they did do a variation of your dream game of Waluigi and Wario running around blowing things up in the trailer. So
Yes. Now just extrapolate on that, Nintendo, and give me Wario and Luigi, crime lord, coin thief.
That's a game.
CLCT. Anyhow, Minecraft on May 11th kind of fills the gap, as you'll see later based on release dates. Two Sonics. They, again, let you know that Sonic Mania is releasing in summer. Gave us a little more Sonic Forces footage for winter. I think Sonic Forces looks nice. I hope that shapes up to be a great compliment
I just like that
to Mario Odyssey.
I just like that the other Sonic is just light blue Sonic.
I'm banned from talking about Sonic, apparently.
You absolutely are. So we'll move straight along to something that was a beloved part of Jake's Game Boy Advance childhood. Namco Museum is coming to Switch. It's got Pac-Man, Galaga, Splatterhouse, Rolling Thunder, Sky Kid, Tank Force, and it's coming out this summer.
Tank Force, we're coming for you.
They've got pausing at any time, special challenge modes, no discussion on price. I'm not sure if they've mentioned if it was retail or not. That may be an eShop joint.
I hope so.
More Neo Geo masterpieces coming
You
your
don't
way.
say.
Starting tomorrow, Samurai Showdown 4, and then eventually more stuff, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters 99, all of that headed your way. Payday 2 is making an appearance on Switch. Well,
Let's stop
this
here
is
for a
not-
second on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is an interesting one. The game came out in 2013. It's a good game, but I am like very confused by the decision to bring this over. Payday 2 was actually like really successful, so you would
Right.
imagine that Payday 3 is in the works in some fashion. So why not just wait for that? Like, why put out a game from 2013 and put it out now on the Switch? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, it's a very, very strange way to I don't know. I don't get it.
I think that my guess would be, look, let's start bringing some more multiplayer stuff to Switch. Let's show that shooters and multiplayer-focused titles can be successful. Let's use this as an opportunity to practice porting. And you already have Payday 2, so if it's an easy get, why not expand the library? And I know it's not a super exciting announcement. It's not a new game. But again, we've said before, we would love a whole lot of games on Switch. So I think just as we're excited for, Towerfall, that's a game that's been out for a while to come, or Rocket League now has been out for quite a while. I think Payday 2 appeals to some, and also more just speaks to rounding out the Switch lineup and convincing others that, hey, this is a platform that's worth porting to. This is a platform worth putting multiplayer on. This is a platform worth putting mature rated titles on.
I guess
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, I guess my fear is that like this doesn't do well, and like it inevitably won't, and then like people see it as shooters don't work on the Switch. Like, that's what I don't want.
Yeah, I suppose it could be that kind of catch-22. But there can't be a whole lot of investment. It can't. I doubt this costs much to bring over.
Yeah, who knows?
A couple others here before we hit the big guns. Project Mekuru, which is not a final name, is coming to the Nintendo eShop this summer. It looks like a Bomberman type game. Frankly, this was to me the least impressive thing of the entire Direct.
That's saying something.
It's like a mix between Splatoon and Bomberman. You're like,
Looked like if
basically using
Power
Bomberman
Rangers
mechanics,
decided to play
but-
Bomberman.
Yeah, and like you're trying to get the most territory. I don't know. Not something I'm interested in.
Yeah, we also have Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, launching on July 25th. And the dock, the standalone dock, is coming on May 19th. Limited amounts. So if you want those, grab them.
For $60 without a power cord. So I think that's important to point out.
Yes.
Yeah. So strange.
It's
decision, but-
straight up an extra dock.
Yeah.
Now things, I think, get real cool. And if you weren't feeling any of the previous announcements, which I think there was definitely some highlights, and just to pull them out, I really think Hey Pikmin looks good. I like that they're doing a lot for Kirby's 25th. I'm pumped to try the Puyo Puyo Tetris demo. I think Sonic Forces could be really cool later this year, and I love to see them bringing just more titles in general. So the Monopoly, the Payday announcements, Namco Museums. I like that we're getting that. But it started off great because there's a new color of Joy-Con finally coming to Switch. Our first new Joy-Con is a neon yellow, releasing on June 16th. That's the Friday after E3, alongside ARMS. So ARMS misses the spring launch window, instead coming in summer, but it's right after E3, which I think is a super smart play, because now you can say, hey, we don't really have to talk about ARMS at E3 because it's out this week. And that's always a great way to sort of hype and keep momentum rolling for your system if you have a title come out. And I think after E3 is better than sometimes we've had some games launch right before E3, which never seems to be a smart idea. So
I was really
Yellow Joy-Con thoughts?
Yeah, I was wondering, like in my head before this announcement, if they did come out with more Joy-Con colors, if they would have like multi-packs where like the blue-red ones, or if this one like was like yellow-purple, or if they were just like a single color. Because obviously you can buy like just one Joy-Con if you want to just mix it up and don't want to have a symmetrical-looking Switch and you want to have like yellow-blue or something like that. But I was wondering if they would release them in like sets of 2 so that they could have those like mixed color packs, or if they would just go one color at a time, and now they're just doing one color at a time. So I thought that was an interesting choice. I'm neither is like really right or wrong, but I was just wondering how they were going to proceed with it.
But just overall thoughts on the color. I think the color looks kind of cool. Personally,
my only thing is people said like the neon blue and red are distracting and like too much, like bright vibrance on the edge of the Switch, and this is like a traffic vest, which is like way more or whatever. I like it, but I'm just saying for some people it's an interesting choice to go even bright, like neon green or blue and red. People thought was bright, and then they decided to go even brighter, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the fact that they're doing oddball colors. Obviously, this is to celebrate and commemorate the launch of ARMS. It's the color of the logo. And I don't know, like, I think eventually later this year, maybe we get a Mario, like a green and red Mario Luigi themed Joy-Con, or a Bowser Mario themed Joy-Con set, maybe the more low-key colors. But I kind of like that they're still sticking with this weird thing because, you know, you look across the other platforms, you look at past, we've always had, you know, red Wiimote, red PS4 DualShock, a blue Xbox One controller. So the fact that they're like neon red, neon blue, neon yellow, I kind of like it. I think it makes it exciting, and then it makes sort of the multiplayer component really great, because now you have people digging into a bin and they're pulling out a bright yellow Joy-Con, a bright red, and I think it just adds to sort of the fun and the kind of multiplayer, family, friend-centric thing that Nintendo really wants to push with the Switch.
Okay, here's my prediction then. Alongside or around Splatoon 2 release date, they're going to come out with a pink-green set, just like that's like the 2 main colors that they are promoting with all their advertisements. So that'd be freaking amazing if they had a pink-green set after that for Splatoon 2. Since they're coordinating the yellow with ARMS, like you pointed out, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I mean, not that you have to buy them, but options are great, and especially as more and more multiplayer titles release and more people want to, you know, dive into that ecosystem, give us options. There's also a battery pack for the Joy-Con, which I think is a strange announcement. This will be dropping on June 16th as well as ARMS and the yellow Joy-Con. It's a AA battery pack so that you don't have to charge your Switch. And, you know, there was already the issue of, like, do you need the charging grip? And we've kind of found you absolutely don't. So, personally, I think this is an unnecessary accessory, but maybe some people will like not having to...
I'm just saying, why would they have this on top of the charging grip? Like, it doesn't seem like you need both.
Yeah.
But you don't need both. I think this is a way for people to charge their multiplayer Joy-Con that aren't going to be attached to the Switch. So this is like if you have a Switch and a third and fourth Joy-Con.
But again, then you could just slide those onto the charging grip, like if you weren't using them with your Switch.
Yeah, but your charging grip has to be plugged in.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of an oddball accessory, but hey, maybe some people will get use out of it. Now let's dive into the 2 big ones. ARMS. This game is shaping up nicely.
Agreed.
It is very interesting. Like, it's just, I think when it first came out, I was like, okay, like a Nintendo fighting game. But, like, it's become so much more than that in my mind. Like, so much more unique and different from any other fighting game.
Well, and I really think it's following a similar trajectory to Splatoon, where at first you're kind of like, what?
What?
And then more and more you're like, okay. And now Splatoon, I think a lot of Nintendo fans would agree, is one of Nintendo's most valuable and coolest IP. So perhaps they can follow the same path with ARMS. And they unveiled a new character, Min Min, who is super cool. She has noodly arms and can unleash this sort of dragon special. Very well-designed character. And they emphasized, again, all the different arm combinations that you can have, as well as highlighted 2 new modes, which I know, Jake, you were pumped for.
Yeah, the 2-on-2 mode is something that I mentioned before, and I got shut down, but I think both of you pretty quickly, or at least Zach was like, no, that's ridiculous.
No, I agreed with you. I wanted a 2v2 mode from the very beginning.
which I think is pretty sweet.
That is like, it looks like the most beautiful kind of chaos. Like watching. Okay, so you have 8 different arms or gloves or whatever you want to call them flying around.
Yeah.
At once.
It's definitely for advanced players or just spasmodic players.
Yeah, I think it's equally the like really intense mode, kind of like, it reminds me of like doing the duels and brawls in For Honor, the 2-on-2s, which are so fun there. Or it's like the party mode where you're like, okay, kids, just go crazy. 4 people,
like 8-person Smash Bros or something on a small stage is kind of what it looks like.
Yes. So that mode looked cool. And then the little mini game, I think, is a hint of more of the sort of side stuff that they had discussed earlier, where it's not, it still is all within the punching arms theme. But I like that there's like that target practice that looks like scores are going to unlock more and more gear.
Yeah, well, they said like there's like the Get Arms, I don't remember what they called it, but basically like a store where you could use like points from those mini games and whatnot for a chance to win. It sounded like you use points to like for a chance to play the mini game, and then if you get a high enough score in the mini game, you unlock new stuff. Is kind of what it sounded like they were going for. But anything in that realm, I think would be really cool.
Anything else from ARMS? Min 2v2.
I just think it's
new stage. The new like ramen bowl stage looked fun.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Wait, we forgot the introduction of Biff. We know what the
oh gosh, Biff, the best part of the Nintendo Direct.
How could we forget about him? But I think another thing going along with like how it's so unique is they're really focusing on the stage, like the level of the stage, like at the high low. Why am I blanking on the word?
Verticality.
Like the landscape of the stage, like how it's not just like you're on a flat plane. And I think that's really interesting how it's obviously a 3-dimensional fighter, but then they're also like throwing in this whole dimension of high low. Like elements on the stages, and
it's just the elevation.
Yeah, and then like with the arms being able to like curve them and stuff, that adds like a whole new layer to it. I think it's just again a very unique type of game.
I'm curious how this will sell. June 16th is right after E3, so inevitably we're going to get more announcements. People are going to be they're going to have seen a lot and played a lot of Mario Odyssey. There's going to be impressions on that. Splatoon 2, right around the corner, July 21st. Xenoblade 2 will inevitably be shown off in a deeper capacity. Maybe some secret announcements, whatever Retro's been working on, maybe a Metroid, things for 2018. You guys think that ARMS can do decently on Switch right after E3 and all that stuff? I mean, it's great to carry the momentum for Nintendo, but for the IP itself, is this where it should be?
Yeah, of course, because there's not a lot of other stuff coming out around that time. So yes, there's a bunch of announcements, and yes, people are excited for like big stuff in the future, but then they're left with like nothing to play because games don't release around that time historically. So
Sure.
I think it is a good time.
Yeah, I like it as well. I was gonna try and pull up real fast. When was Splatoon the initial game? When was the release date for Splatoon 1? Because that ended up working real well, and Nintendo had steady player bases throughout. Is May 28th, 2015. So it was right before E3. I would have loved to see ARMS actually hit that date personally.
Yeah, I don't mind this though.
Regardless of the date, I think it's going to be a game that sells decent at launch, but then also has like a slow build and like growing player base. Because again, I think it's a game that, just like the Switch does, like will market itself, and when you see other people playing it and like you play it with your friend, like they're gonna want to play it and get it for themselves. So I don't like have a fear that it's not gonna do well. I think that especially with like we played it at PAX, but with the modes like where you can play without motion control, that instantly makes it more of a hardcore game and not just some gimmick. So I think it's a game that definitely will show well and play well with like other people. So I think it'll have a steady growing player base as it continues upward.
For sure. I think that's what worked really well with Splatoon. Great word of mouth, and then great support. And it doesn't seem to fit as naturally with ARMS, but maybe they can consistently release, either new characters, new ARMS, new stages. I'd love to see some tournaments as well. I think that could be built into the game nicely to really encourage sort of that online community like they did with Splatoon. To me, the Splatfest were one of the best ways they kept people around and kept people coming back to Splatoon, and hopefully they'll do something of the sort. One thing I was surprised was no Amiibo for ARMS.
Not yet.
Yeah. I guess they could technically, since E3 is before this release date, they could be like, bam, Springman and Ribbon Girl are out now.
Yeah,
at Best Buy, Walmart.
I think maybe they just want to see like what the reception's going to be like.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're moving away from Amiibo.
You say as they announce 13 new ones.
Sure, but keep in mind that, I mean, the Zelda ones are continuing a Zelda set that has been growing for a long time. The Smash Brothers one are rounding out that set. The Pikmin one is for a 3DS game. Splatoon 2 are the only Amiibo that are, I guess, Breath of the Wild. Okay, so Amiibo aren't going anywhere. Let me rescind that statement. So yeah, all in all, very excited for ARMS. Sad it's not in May, but June 16th feels like a good date to all of us. Splatoon 2 was next on their docket, and this one gets a July 21st date. So whereas ARMS feels a little later than maybe we expected, Splatoon 2 is coming in earlier, and I love that.
That's going to be an exciting time. Again, just like summertime is good for games to come out, because not a lot of people put games out in the summer. That I know that like seems like counter like intuitive to like the crowd that like games are usually tailored to. But yeah, people don't put games out in the summer, so Splatoon 2 is a perfect summer game.
Well, and I think it's, even though it sounds silly, like it works perfectly with the Switch, because the Switch is like, you know, if your family goes on vacation, you're, you know, a high school, middle school student who has a Switch, you can take that with you and play it anywhere. You don't have to like bring your whole setup of, you know, your PlayStation or Xbox. So again, like it's a game. It's games that you can play like anywhere, anytime. And in the summer, people are out and about and active and on vacations or whatever events, and like it's something that you can take everywhere with you. So I think it's a good, smart move, and it's just that steady month by month thing that Nintendo's doing, which is perfect.
If they can keep that up, that's going to be good, because even in comparison to Wii U, from a first party standpoint alone, they're already doing such a great job. You know, already pumping out Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, Splatoon 2. We'd think there'd be something in the August-September range before we hit the Mario Odyssey Xenoblade month. So this is looking like a fantastic first year, and a real good effort by Nintendo to prepare for the first year of Switch in ways that they haven't previously, you know, with their home systems. So I like that a lot. Splatoon 2, as we mentioned, gets the 3 Amiibo that they said are going to work similarly to those from Splatoon 1. And your Splatoon 1 Amiibo will also work in Splatoon 2. That's the Squid Boy, or Inkling Boy, Inkling Girl, Squid, and Callie and Marie, the initial 5, will work there. Out on July 21st. And today focused on a new mode announcement. It wasn't a full blowout, but we did get the first look at Salmon Run, which is their co-op horde-esque mode that I think looks incredible.
Yeah, and if you want to hear like more like depth, more in-depth discussion about this, check out our Splatoon 2 video. Like we made a video dedicated to it. But yeah, the horde mode looks really, really fun, like we mentioned before, and like I'm just seriously excited to play that with you guys.
And I think it works perfectly, because it's like they had Splatoon has a good like popularity and player base, and now they're just kind of expanding on it. Like they created a very amazing, well-developed world, and now they're just putting more pieces in place as they go along, which is awesome.
Yeah, again, expanding Splatoon, doubling down on content, and reaffirming that this is going to be a fully fleshed out sequel, and not the fear of like a 1.5.
And really, like, hammering home like the Switch like local co-op. I'm assuming you'll have local split screen co-op. So like doubling down on that, like to have the Switch be like that, you know, party couch game.
Exactly. I think that co-op is a great way to encourage the local play, and will be a really fun way. You know, we'll obviously be duking it out competitively in Mario Kart, Splatoon 2 Turf War, and other online modes, ARMS. But now we've got something that's co-op, kind of the first of its kind, really, for Switch. And just to clarify, I guess for Splatoon 2, they're saying the Amiibo will appear in the game and befriend players. Befriend an Amiibo character and will remember favorite weapons, gear, outfits, and option settings. This comes in handy when waging turf war at a friend's house. So I'm not sure if they are going to be implementing any of the challenges that the Splatoon 1 Amiibo provided. I really like those, so I hope there's something of that sort. But at least at this current point, they just are appearing in game, befriending players, and helping you take pictures of other squids and being able to replicate their outfits. But I think Splatoon 2 is going to be a great game. I mean, Splatoon 1 sold super well, and was very popular, and that was given a super small Wii U base. Now, obviously, the Switch base currently is smaller than the Wii U base was then, but as the Switch base goes, I think Splatoon 2 is really going to cement itself as an evergreen title. You look at this first year, and they really could have at least 4 or 5 sellers that last for years to come. Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, and then hopefully ARMS can all become, exclusive darlings that anyone that picks up a Switch wants. It would be great if these were not regarded as, early kind of okay titles, but great titles. And we know Breath of the Wild is one of them, and we know Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of them. It'd be great if the rest could become that, so that Switch has a really solid foundation as they launch forward into new ventures, new IP, and sort of maybe more of the experimental stuff that they've hinted at with some of their upcoming projects.
Yeah, and I know that E3 is coming, but I would love to have even just one more direct before E3 to get some more smaller stuff out of the way, because I want to be blown away by their E3 presentation. So I mean, if this was it, as far as the small stuff that they have coming, cool. But one more a direct where maybe they even talk about Virtual Console would be nice, so that doesn't take up a lot of time during E3. Who knows? But
that was one thing I really hope for here. I didn't expect any crazy announcement. I was hoping some mention of Virtual Console. It really does seem they're going to save that for the E3, and it's available now. Go play, whatever. Paper Mario, Super Mario World, Mario Sunshine, day and date on E3. I feel like that's, to me, it seems like that's their sort of their game plan with that.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't think we get another Direct. I think this was kind of their bridging the gap between launch and E3 set of announcements. And even though Splatoon 2 and ARMS are the focus and the two big ones, there was a lot here. This is a hefty amount of things to discuss, and they rapidly went through them. So 8 weeks till E3, I don't know. Unless we get, I could see an ARMS focused Direct, but this maybe this was that. I would love to have Biff back, though.
Biff
is gonna get. When is the Biff amiibo coming?
please give me a Biff amiibo.
That would be
love
great.
that. He unlocks a new voice pack or a new arm set. I did want to also mention, and I apologize for omitting these earlier. THQ Nordic is bringing Sine Mora EX and Battle Chasers Night War to the Switch in the summer, and the Japanese Direct also gave a July 20th date for a game I've been pumped for, which is the Lady Layton game. It's now called Layton Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. No Western date, but it is coming west, I would think, later this year.
Cool stuff.
And that's another thing to remember. If we get Switch releases, it doesn't matter where they're released, because you can grab them from any store. So
yeah, but good luck reading in Japanese for some of those.
Yeah, of course. If there's text-heavy games, it's going to be trouble. But things that aren't, if it does ever encounter a situation where, hey, the Kirby game comes out in Japan first or something of that sort, or there's a unique indie title that comes there, then you'll be able to grab it, which I always love that flexibility. So let's recap here. Final thoughts on the Direct, and sort of final thoughts on Splatoon 2, ARMS, and where you think the Switch stands now and your excitement levels.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for ARMS specifically. I really want to play that. I wish it was coming a little bit sooner, but I think that's going to be a very, very cool game.
I am excited for both. I never really got into Splatoon 1, so I'm super excited to play Splatoon 2 and ARMS, and just the prospects of what else is to come from now until, well, I was going to say till Mario Odyssey, but really the future of the Switch. I'm excited for everything that's coming, or what is going to be shown to come.
I think, for a system that launches in March and has Mario, out there in the holiday season, I think this is probably about as good of a mid-year lineup as you could ask for. The fact that we're getting, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe soon, the fact that we're getting ARMS, the fact that we're getting Splatoon 2, a whole bunch of indies. I don't know that you could expect more from a summer lineup. Gabe, you mentioned it multiple times. Summer is usually a very slow time for games. And the fact that we're getting a number of big hits from Nintendo is great, and hopefully a few others as well. I'd love to see Rayman drop in the summer. They just say later this year, no fall specification, no summer specification. I'd love to see that one hit this summer. I think that would be a great addition to the lineup, give us that platformer. And, we are going to have the indie stuff, the games we've talked about, the Celeste, the War Grooves, the Tower Falls, the Ukuleles. Those will be hitting at some point, and I'm sure a lot of them will come out in the summer months when the AAA releases are thinner. I love that they finally unveiled a JoyCon color. That meant a lot to me, and I'm a sucker. I'll be picking it up, adding that to my arsenal. And then, for 3DS users, people that haven't made the switch or people that still want to play in that style, you got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Amiibo collectors, your wallets are going to be ready for action again soon. Coming soon, June 16th, June 23rd, July 21st. A lot of Amiibo. And yeah, I think like you said, Jake, makes me even more excited for E3 because what else is there? What else are they going to show? What else do they have to talk about? I love that we got a Direct. I love that they got this stuff out there and in the open. I think it's a solid lineup, and I'm super pumped that this is the pre-show, right? The big guns are still laying in wait for E3 and for that second week of June. So let us know in the comments, what was your favorite part of today's Direct? Are you most excited for ARMS, Splatoon 2, or something else? We definitely want to know. Will you be picking up the new Amiibo? Is Minecraft your thing, or are you still enjoying your 3DS gaming life? Let us know in the comments below. Tell us how you feel about the Switch after today's Direct and where you think the system is headed. If you're pleased with the lineup, if you're pumped for this summer, and if you are ready for that big E3 show. Until that time, though, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. It does help us out. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch. Hit that notification bell so as soon as things like today's Direct happen, you can be alerted to all the new info, all the new trailers, all the new games. And yeah, we are loving the Switch life.
Amazing.
Exactly. Our opinions, too. Hopefully, you got something out of today's video, and let us know your favorite parts. Until that time, though, everybody, thanks again. Switch Force out.